Guys, how you doing? Welcome to the channel. What we're talking about in today's video is this. Even though we primarily talk about real estate and real estate entrepreneurship on this channel, we're talking about business altogether, right? And a lot of you are starting out in business, or you're looking to transition out of the current business model that you're in to a better business model, or you're looking to add another business to the current businesses that you run. So this is for new and experienced entrepreneurs. We're gonna go over a ton of different information. I'm gonna give you my opinion, kind of break down some myths about certain models on the board behind me, because I think it's really sad when I hear so many different people talking about things that they just don't know, right? So there's a lack of business intelligence in the community, and everybody wants to put their input or opinion in on something that they just don't know about, right? So let's look at the board behind me, guys, because this is very important to understand, especially with number one. This has more myths and more misinformation surrounding this model than anything out there, right? So what are we talking about? Number one, guys, the first way you can get into business is join a multi-level marketing company, those evil multi-level marketing companies, right? Or sometimes called a network marketing company. So what does MLM stand for, right? Well, really, guys, this stands for making lots of money. Not really, but that's what I want to point out. Because I want to break down the myth around this, guys. I truly believe the network marketing model, the multi-level marketing model, is something that every single person that wants to get into business should join at one point, or really put time in and treating it like a business. Now, the big reason people don't like these models is because they join in at the back end. So let's look at the early adopter stage industry growth curve, right? So if you look at the way industries start, they start at the bottom, they grow very slow, and then they massively accelerate, and then they hit top of the market and they kind of level out, right? So this is kind of what happens once the company hits its peak. Now, most people are joining a multi-level marketing company at the top when there's no money left in the deal, right? I guess you could say. So the trick is, if you're gonna identify one of these, I'm not gonna tell you ones to go look at, I'm just gonna tell you that this is a great model, and truly, I believe the multi-level marketing is the American dream type of model, because it has almost no risk up front with maximum upside, and all it takes to be successful is heart, work ethic, and determination. You're learning amazing skills like networking skills, because as we all know, your net worth is equivalent to your network. It teaches you consistency, momentum. It teaches you delayed gratification. It teaches you so many different blessings and ideas and thought processes that all entrepreneurs need to have. So you want to find one that's early on, and that's going to increase your chances of being successful. Now let's look at why a network marketing model has so much of a stigma around it, and why people call it a pyramid scheme, right? First off, for all of you watching right now, they're shaking your head or nodding your head along with me. Any one of you, I'm going to put a challenge out to you right now to put in the box below. If any one of you can name me a company, a profitable company out there, where the owner of the company makes less money than the people at the bottom floor, I would love to hear it, because I don't think you can do it. Every single business model out there, guys, is based top down, right? Like a pyramid. That's why when you go into business, or you go into get a job, you hear, let's rise the corporate ladder. You're climbing up the corporate ladder. They never say, let's take the corporate stairs down to the dungeon, right? It doesn't work like that. And those people who start a business, any business, we're talking about any business in any industry, they're not putting in the 80 to 100-hour weeks starting their business and taking all the extra risks to make less money than the people beneath them. Money goes up. That's called a business, guys. I hope I make that clear, because I can't believe how many people don't understand that this is such an amazing opportunity for them and their families, right? And when I look at the top 25 wealthiest people that I know, almost 75% of them, I put down on a piece of paper, guys, did it through a multi-level marketing model. And so here's why a lot of people have a stigma towards this. Our parents' generation, a lot of people got beat up, right? Because they joined inventory MLMs, right? Meaning that they made them buy the inventory first and then go sell it. And if those people joined and they didn't sell it, not only did they fail and have the emotional stress of failing as an entrepreneur, they actually had a financial loss doing so. So I think the movie's called Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith, where he's running around carrying those like x-ray machines around, guys. I think that was an MLM, but that's part of what happens to people, is they get stuck. They go buy a bunch of inventory and stack it up in their garage, and then they can't sell it. The other thing that happened, guys, during the 70s and 80s with a lot of these companies is they grew too quickly. They grew so fast, and then they imploded upon themselves because the technology was not there to keep up with accounting. So as a company goes from 10,000 to 50,000 to 300,000 people in the company, and we don't even have internet at the time, we don't have iPhones, we don't have mass technology, different CRMs, different types of accounting softwares to track these, it's very easy that people didn't get paid out, or the company just imploded because of leaks in the system or lacking in certain areas of the accounting system. I guess I'm trying to make a point, if that makes sense. So the truth is, these companies cost almost nothing to join, which is also why a lot of people walk away when things get tough. It's not like the second one we're going to talk about where it's very expensive to start up. But guys, if you haven't joined a network marketing company, especially you young people out there, guys, those 18 to 25-year-olds, this is very, very important for you to do. It's going to teach you a lot of skills. It's not a lot of risk, and it's going to be a very, very good education process for you in your early on stages of becoming an entrepreneur. And if you pull it off and you build a big enough team, wherever you're at, you're never working again. Okay, that's my input, because a lot of you have asked what my take is on network marketing companies. I think they're amazing. I think that they're probably the most efficient business model ever. Just don't get in hoping to get rich quick. It is not a get rich quick scheme. If you don't treat it like a business, you're not going to get business-like results. Okay. Hope I answered the question for all of y'all asking that one. Now, number 2, start your own business. This is what I did. This is what most people have to do. Very, very risky, very expensive, but guess what? If you want a successful business, you have to start one somehow, and there's only these ways on the board to do it. So when I started my business, guys, I made a bunch of mistakes. I ended up $65,000 in debt. Now, because I had so much money up and so much risk up, I was not walking away from this no matter what. I was putting in 100-hour work weeks, basically every single week for years straight, and I was never gonna not give up. I mean, I was never going to quit, right? I guess you could say, because I had so much money up at risk. Whereas up here, where you only have $50 a month up at risk, when things get tough, you walk away very quickly. So if you're in a company like that right now, guys, as far as number 1 goes, just keep going, don't walk away, right? But starting a business can be very risky, because you have to go through and learn a completely new set of skills. You have to understand the business. While you're figuring it out, you're investing a lot of time, energy, and resources into getting it up off the ground. Say you're starting a restaurant, you have to staff the place, you have to buy a very expensive cooker, you have to buy furniture, you have to design the place. You're starting out in real estate, guys, you have to take, you're gonna have lots of losses experimenting with marketing, experimenting with working with contractors, trying to find out what things cost. So this is what most people do. I think it's a great way to get into business. It's the way I got into business. And I think most people need to forecast out a little bit longer, study the business model that they're getting into, put a lot more time studying before they invest anything into it. But also at the same time, guys, don't be a professional learner, I guess you could say. There's a lot of people who get into the seminar process, the YouTube channel process, the podcast process, and all they do is enjoy being a professional learner. If you never take action, guys, you're never making money. So that's the second way you can start your own business. The third one is buying a business, right? We've all seen Shark Tank and venture capitalists, people buying into businesses, or people going out there buying other entrepreneurs' businesses. But the problem with this one is, guys, even if you have the money to buy a business, which most people don't, which is the first limitation people have, is they just don't have the money to buy a business. The second thing is, if you have money and you came into it through inheriting it or selling off a different business, or just however you came across it, guys, be very, very careful. You don't just want to go buy a business if you've never built a successful business. So I recommend, before you ever buy a business, run one of your own businesses, or have been a central part of running a business before, because if you don't understand how to run a business and you've never done it before, you could buy a profitable business and drive it into the ground, which we see happen so very often, right? But this also has a very steep barrier of entry because it costs so much to buy a business. And if you don't know how to analyze it or run it, guys, I would highly avoid doing this unless you have someone working closely with you, a friend or a family member or a colleague that can help you do this, right? Now, the last one, guys, similar to number 3, guys, it's gonna cost a lot of money up front, and you have to be aware and you have to be honest with yourself that if you don't have the skill sets to run a business, you may not want to buy a franchise. And I see this happen all the time with people. There's home buying franchises out there. We all know about these certain ones. And a lot of people fail with these because they don't know how to actually run a business. Just because you can pull a credit card out or borrow money or take your own money out of the pocket and buy a franchise, and it's a profitable franchise for others, that has zero to do with you being successful with that franchise. You actually have to have business skills. You actually have to know what you're doing, because just buying a franchise that's profitable has no relationship to whether or not you're gonna be profitable running it. Because if you have no business sense, you don't have time management skills, and you don't know how to train your team, guys, it's very, very risky. So when it comes down to it, for you young people out there, what I advise is this. Go research the marketplace, go ask around friends and family, join a multi-level marketing company or a network marketing company to kind of get your foot into the business world. Start learning those skill sets that are gonna help you when you get into this stage. Once you become successful with either one of these two, and your time becomes a bigger issue, now look at buying other businesses, because you know how to analyze them, you know how to understand if they're profitable or not, if you can jump in and have the skill sets to run one. But that's kind of a good idea of what I want to talk about, guys, is some of these you need a lot of time, but you don't need a lot of money, like this one. Some of these you need a lot of money, but you don't have a lot of time. Buy a franchise or buy a business, right? Do a little bit of research out there, guys, but this is it. Really, these are your 4 options. Join an MLM, start a business from the ground up, buy a business or buy a franchise. Guys, I hope you liked today's video. I'd love to hear your input. This one's probably gonna have a lot of people wanting to put their input in. So put it down below, guys. If you haven't already done so, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'll see you on the next one. If there's other videos that you want us to film, guys, email us at info.investorarmy and I will get those out to you guys. I wanna help you win. I want 2019, which are quickly coming up to, I guess you could say. I want y'all to win, and I'm gonna do everything I can on this channel to help you. So guys, I'll see you on the next one. Have a good day.